So now let me start with the class. Fine. So what we are going to do is first look at what is the notation for us that will be following throughout the class. And then I will give some basic idea of what exactly is the plan of the course, in the sense that we'll start with system of equations, try to solve it. And I would like you to remind you on a regular basis that throughout the course, it is system of equation that we are solving, and we'll be interpreting it in different ways. Different problems, different things will come, but every time we'll be solving system of equations as per the linear algebra part is concerned, but the interpretations will keep changing. All right. So we need to understand the basics, the ideas that we go, how do we relate different ideas. Fine. So let's proceed with the first notations and then we'll see what we can do. Fine. So notation. All right. So this is going to be our empty set. That's the way we'll be writing it. Then you have n, the set of natural numbers. So sometimes you can write whole numbers to include 0. So it is 0 union n. So n is nothing but 1, 2, 3, so on. But sometimes we may say whole numbers, okay, but natural numbers itself we can include 0 and things like that. Sometimes that error can occur. Fine. Then we have this notion of whole number. I've already said set of integers. So set of integers is 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, and so on. We already know what it is. Q, the set of rational numbers. So what is that? If you remember, it is of the type m upon n, such that m and n are integers and n is not equal to 0. All right. And we generally follow that GCD of mn is 1. You did not say it, but that's the way generally we follow. That we always take, because the cancellation can take place, 2 upon 4 is same as half. All right. Then we have R, the set of real numbers. Then we have C, the set of complex numbers. And so this is nothing but A plus IB. A and B are real numbers, and I is nothing but a square root of minus 1. Whatever you can understand, that's the idea we have. And another thing that we have is what is called, I may use this once in a while, but not in general. So Q root 2, which is again A plus B root 2. Now here we put the restriction that A and B are Q here. So Q means rational numbers. Is that okay? So that's the way we put it. And I'd like you to understand that these 4 sets that I'm talking about, these are called fields in mathematics. So what is a field? It is a playground where we can do mathematical work. All right. So fields means I can add, I can subtract, I can multiply, and I can divide by non-zero quantity, non-zero numbers. All right. So field is a set, which is a non-empty set. It has to have addition, it has to have subtraction, it has to have multiplication, it has to have division by a non-zero element is allowed. So I would like you to see that rationals, real numbers, complex numbers, and this also has this property because we can do rationalization is allowed here. So rationalization made sense. So what we are saying is that if I look at 1 plus 2 plus 3 root 2, then I could multiply it by 3 minus or 2 minus 3 root 2. I can multiply by 2 minus 3 root 2 by 2 minus 3 root 2, and then write it as 2 minus 3 root 2 divided by 4 minus 18, I hope. So the important thing is that I would like you to always be careful. I do lots and lots of mistake in my calculations. So please correct yourself or correct the notes whenever there is an error. All right. So here 2 into 2 is 4. So it's correct. I think 3 into 3 is 9, into 2 is 18. So I hope it's correct. So just simplify it. So you'll get some alpha times alpha plus beta root 2. You'll get it like this, where alpha and beta are irrational numbers. All right, this is what you'll get. So I'd like you to understand. And whenever I do this, so I would like you to note here that all the fields that we'll be looking at, we'll write it as F. So F for fields. Is that okay? That's the way we are going to represent. Sometimes we may change, we may be particular, but in general it is F that we are looking at. Fine. Then the other thing that I would like you to understand is whenever I write X as a vector, so X will always look like X1, X2, Xn, and these Xi will be from F. All right, for 1 less than equal to I less than equal to 1. So all of them are what are called column vectors. I've not yet defined as such, but all our vectors are column vectors. You have done R3, R2, all right. So for example, in place of writing 1, 2, 3 like this, or which is same as I plus 2j plus 3k, fine. I will be writing basically as 1, 2, and 3, fine. That's the basic idea when I look at calculations and things like that. But to save a space, it's important. To save a space, I may write like this. All right, this is only for when I want to save a space. All right. Otherwise, this is the notation that I'm going to follow for something in R3. In R2, I can write it as 5 and E here, which will belong to R2 and things like that. Fine. So Euclidean plane, Euclidean space, and things like that. Is that okay? So that's the notation part. The notes will be there. You can have a look at it and then you can proceed. Fine. Now let's go with, as I said, we would like to look at system of equations in this course. So I'll start with system of equation. All right. So the first thing is one equation in one unknown. All right. And generally we'll be solving over real numbers. We'll seldom look at over rationals or over q root 2, as I said. But sometimes it may be complex also, because to make you understand the difference between certain concepts, I may come to complex, but mostly it is going to be real numbers itself. All the solutions are going to be over real numbers. Fine. So if I've got one equation in one unknown, so there's only one unknown. So I have like ax is equal to b, where a and b are real numbers and x is an unknown. So this is the what we would like to look at. Fine. So I'd like you to understand here that if I want to solve it, then I can have three choices here. It can happen that a is not equal to 0. So if a is not equal to 0, this will imply that x is equal to b upon a is a solution. All right. For example, if I want to look at 3x is equal to 5, this will imply that x is equal to 5 upon 3 is a solution. Fine. Let's proceed for the second case. What happens if a is 0? If a is 0, then we are looking at 0 times x is equal to b. Fine. So in this case, I can see that if b is not equal to 0, then the system has no solution. All right. For example, if I want to solve 0 times x is equal to 1, then we know that there is no solution. Fine. Another case will be if b is 0, then we are looking at the solution of 0 times x is equal to 0. This holds for all values of x belonging to R. Fine. So therefore, we get infinite number of solutions. So what I'm saying is that infinite number of solution means whole R, solution of set of this. So if I want to look at all x such that 0 times x is equal to 0, then this set is nothing but R itself. Is that okay? Fine. Here in this case, so let me just write down things for you. So here if I want to look at x belonging to R such that 0 times x is equal to 1, then this is an empty set. Fine. Here if I want to look at this one, for example, if I want to look at this one, for example, I want to look at x belonging to R such that 3 times x is equal to 5, then the answer to this is nothing but 5 upon 3. So there is only one set. Fine. So this is what you have to be careful about, what you want to do, and you want to understand things. Is that okay? Fine. So this I have done it for one equation in one unknown. Now let us look at two equations in two unknowns. Fine. And then build up the idea. So now we have got two equations. In two unknowns. All right. This also you have done. So we would like to look at basically two equations. So I've got a1x plus b1y is equal to c1 and a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. And what I have here is that a1, a2, b1, b2, c1, c2, they belong to R and they are known to us, and the unknowns are x and y are, xy are unknown. And we are also assuming that x and y belongs to R. We are solving there itself. Is that okay? So if you remember, you have solved this also. You have done everything here. Fine. So nothing special about it. What you remember that they represents line. Since they represent line, so both of them can be parallel lines. So one case is both of them, or they represent a pair of parallel lines. Represent pair of parallel lines. And in this case, there is no solution, so there won't be any solution for us. Fine. Another is they represent the same line. The same line. So this will give you infinite number of solutions. And the third is they represent non-parallel lines. And then there will be, here it will be a unique solution. Unique solution. All right. So let's look at the cases, different cases, and then try to build up the idea. All right. So this is the idea that we had learned. So I'll take up example and try to understand. Fine. So one by one. So first equation that I want to look at, x plus y is 2 and 2x plus, so the first one was parallel lines. So 2x plus 2y is equal to 5. If I look at this, then what we understand here is that I can write x plus y as 2x plus 2y is equal to 4. I also have 2x plus 2y is equal to 5. And if I subtract, all right, if I do the minus here, what I'll get is that 0 times x plus 0 times y is 1, which has no solution. Fine. Another case is looking at slightly differently. So that there are the same line. So this is one part. Another is x plus y is 2 and 2x plus 2y is 4. So we see that by this argument itself that they represent the same line. same line, x plus y is 2, fine. And it has infinite number of solutions. The solution is x is equal to 2 minus k and y is equal to k arbitrary. All right, fine. So this is what I have. We'll look at things in a different way slightly afterwards, but this is what I have. Fine. Another, I can take it as x plus y is 2 and 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. Two different equations. They are non-parallel lines. And therefore, if I look at here, you can check that x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 is the unique solution. Fine, so you already know these things. There's nothing special about it. Fine. What I would like to understand that I have got infinite number of solutions here, but this part, it just gives me a line, and this infinite number of solutions is nothing but that line that I am looking at, all the points on that line. Fine. I can also have an equation like this, 0 times x plus 0 times y is equal to 0. I can look at this equation, all right. And in this case, I will have whole of R2 as the solution set. So what I'm saying is that look at here, all xy belonging to R2. So that 0 times x plus 0 times y is equal to 2. This will be whole of R2 itself. Sorry, 0 here, it will be R2. Fine. If I'm looking at all xy belonging to R2, so that x plus y is 2 and 2x plus 2y is equal to 4, then what we saw was that this is nothing but, look at here, 2 minus k, comma k belonging to R. So this is the set that I am looking at. Fine. And in another case, we had xy belonging to R2, so that x plus y is 2, 2x plus 2y was 5. This set was the empty set, and then this corresponds to something that is there with you. So again, xy belonging to R2, so that x plus y is 2, and we wrote it as 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. So these are the solution set 1, 1. So you can see that I'm writing like this, even though we are saying they are vectors, just to save a space and the way you are used to. But when I come to matrix multiplication and the whole theories, they will be column vectors. I'll be very particular about those parts. Fine. So let's try to understand what exactly I'm doing here. That's very, very important for us. Fine. So I have done this. Now you already know how to solve it. You have done it for 3 by 3 also. I'll not get into that part. What I want you to understand is, let us look at this last one, and then from there build up this idea. So if I look at the last one I can write x plus y is equal to 2 and 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. I can think of this as equivalent to looking at 1 2 times x plus 1 3 times y is equal to 2, 5. Just I would like you to understand it this way. Fine. So you can see here that here the solution was x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. So if I look at 1 2 times 1 plus 1 3 times 1 is nothing but 1 plus 1 is 2. You can see here 2 plus 3 is 5. So what we are saying is that if I look at this equation here, fine, then I have this line with me. I am very bad at geometry and so on, so just be careful. So we are saying that x plus y is 2 means I have a line like this, x plus y is equal to 2 here. Fine. 2x plus 3y is equal to 5 is, if I take y is equal to 0, x is 5 by 2. If y is 0, then x is 5 upon 2. And if x is 0, y is 5 upon 3. So maybe something like this. 5 upon 3 will be 1.67. All right, something like this. It will go like this maybe. So this is the point of intersection. So as usual, I've done a mistake. The diagram has not come nicely. This is the way it will come. So this is the point, which is 1, 1. Fine. So what I'm trying to say here is that look at now the vector 1, 2 here. So 1, 2 is going to be 1 here, 2 here. This is the vector 1, 2 for us. This is your vector 1, 2. 1, 3 is 1, 3 is here. So let me write it with a different ink. This is my 1, 3. Fine. So if I add these two, fine. If I add these two, I'll do something parallel to this here. So I'll come here. Fine. This is the vector that I'm going to get. And this is the vector 2, 5. All right. So what we are saying is that solving a system of equation, solving a system of equation system of linear equations leads to certain relationship among vectors. That's very, very important. All right. So I would like you to understand something here. I've done it, but I would like you to understand this following question. So suppose I have a function f from R3 to R3, and I'm defining my function f of x, y, z as x times 1, 1, 2 plus y times 5, 6, 11 plus z times 4 minus 7 minus 3. I am looking at this function. So you can see that as such I should have written here f of x, y, z like this. So whatever you're comfortable, you write it depending on yourself. But the idea is that I want to write like this. All right. I want to look at things like this. Fine. So I have a function from f from R3 to R3. I can talk of, so question can be, the following question can be asked. Is f 1, 1? Is f onto? Does the vector 11, 1, 2 belong to image of the function f? I can ask another question, the same. Does the vector 11, 1, 13 belongs to image of f? Fine. So I can ask such questions. Fine. So 1, 1 on 2, what is the image? What is the domain? So domain is known, codomain is known. What is the range of the function? The range of f is same as image of f. So what are they? I can ask such questions. So these questions are important and you need to understand it. Fine. So I would like you to see here that if I'm asking this question, does the vector this belongs to image? Fine. So it means that can I find x, y, z belonging to R such that x times 1, 1, 2 plus y times 5, 6, 11 plus z times 4 minus 7 minus 3 is equal to 11, 1, 2, 11, 1, 12, I think. I should have written 12 here, not 2, 12. Fine. Can I find this? Which is same thing as saying that if I just look at the ideas here, the first component has to be the same, second component has to be the same, third component has to be the same. So the first component says that x plus 5y plus 4z is equal to 11. Second component says that x plus 6y minus 7z is equal to 1. And the last is 2x plus 11y minus 3z is equal to 12. So does this system has a solution? Does this system have a solution? All right. So that's the question that we are asking. So we are differentiating. So here you are looking at system of linear equations, three planes, whether they intersect or not. That is being put into the language of vectors here. And then that turns into the language of functions here now. All right. So we need to understand these things. So this idea that I am asking what is the image, fine. All right. So what is the image? This leads to what is called the linear span of vectors. It leads to the linear span of vectors. Fine. One on two will lead to what is called kernel and things like that. That will come to things like that. So I want you to understand it. When I'm asking that, does the vector, this belongs to the image? It means that is this vector a linear combination of the three given vectors. All right. So what I'm saying is that everything gets related. So solving a system of equation gets related with what we have in vectors. Is that okay? So I would like you to think about these things, that at each step will be just solving system of equations. We'll put things in the vectors and vice versa. Fine. So keep track of this. That's all in this lecture. Thank you.